Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Eden Wellness Alliance's usual State of the Association address, where we are going to be going over a article that we had seen mentioned last time in in the article we just did last week about the Dirty Dozen. This week we're supposed to go over the Clean 15 fruits and vegetables. But before we do that, let's go ahead and do our normal housekeeping with events and stuff like that coming up. Aside from the normal CRNs every Tuesday, I don't see anything coming up next week. And then the week after that the week after that actually has the CRN, and then it has also the Egg and I. So July 11th is the Egg and I. If you want to come to that, get some answers, get some questions, comments, observations taken care of there at uh, the Egg and I. It's going to have a focus around essential oils, but you can also ask other questions, and we'll go over them and look at them like that, and be able to get you some information so that you can get a better idea of what you want to do with your health. So that's what's going on in that. I don't have any different or changed things for the events. So that's just gonna go like normal. We're gonna expect you guys to come back on every Thursday for our State of the Associations. And let's get into this article, shall we? This is one that I definitely wish I would have looked at beforehand, simply because it's a lot. It's not even an article. It's just a list, which is a bummer. And sorry that it turned out that way. But I like to come to these kind of blind and read them with you too. So, oh well. Let's just go over there, shall we? So here we are at the Clean 15, and it is a it's just a list. It's just a list. They made it sound like there was an article to go along with it, but it's just a list. So it says the Clean 15. It's by Elizabeth Leamy and Sheila Evans, August 13th, 2009. Of course, at the ABC News uh, website, and it literally just says, here is a list of the Clean 15 fruits and vegetables that are least likely to contain pesticide residue, and then it just lists them, and then that's it. Uh, I thought it was like an article, and look, I can fit them all on one screen view. Fit them all on one screen view. That's a bummer. I would have liked it if they had done something where it was, onion for this reason, the for this reason. Oh well. Um, so let's just kind of list some of them off. Onion, avocado, sweet corn, pineapple, mango, asparagus, sweet peas, kiwi, cabbage, eggplant, papaya, watermelon, broccoli, tomato, sweet potato. Those are the 12. Um, One of the things that you're not having to worry about pesticides as much with these is some of these are a bit more resilient in the sense that they don't get as many uh, they don't have as many problems with rot and bugs and stuff like that as others might. Like the avocado, I'm pretty sure the avocado doesn't have a lot of problems with bugs. They're pretty uh, easy on the pesticide use to grow. I may be incorrect, so if I am incorrect, you can let me know in the comments. But to my understanding, they're not that hard to grow. You can do it pretty easily. Um, it's good to note, like the onion and the sweet potato, and in some senses, like regular potatoes, things that are tubers will sometimes have less of a problem with it, especially when you consider the fact that most people peel their sweet potatoes and most people strip away the outer layers of onions. That means that those outer layers are going to get less, they're going to have less on the pesticides for you to be ingesting because you're going further into the fruit or the vegetable. That's kind of how it works with a lot of these. The sweet corn has that outer husk shell. The pineapple, nobody eats pineapple rind that I'm aware of. Mango, we always take those out. The kiwi, I don't know anybody that eats kiwi peelings. Cabbage in the same sense as the onion, but I'm a little iffy on the cabbage one for that part. Eggplant, you don't eat the rind of the eggplant. Papaya, same with the other fruits. Watermelon, you don't eat watermelon rind unless you pickle it. Some people pickle watermelon rind and then eat it, which I suppose is possible. But even so, watermelon, to my understanding, is not super difficult to grow, even commercially, simply because there's not a lot that's going to attack it, and people usually don't care if it's got a little spot on it here or there. But I may be wrong again. You can let me know. Um, the tomato, I'm rather surprised that they put that one, but they did. But those are ones that they put as the clean 15. Now there are some caveats to this, like especially to the sweet corn and especially to the tomato. Though tomato and sweet corn are known culprits for being GMO, and the problem with GMO foods is that your body is not adjusted to know what that is. Um, Changes in plants and stuff like that take decades. Uh, Even when you're crossbreeding plants and stuff like that, the crossbreeding of plant to plant is normal. That's that crossing of that barrier of one type of tomato to another type of tomato is normal, and that change happens very easily with the system, and so the genetics of those plants don't degrade or change in ways that are problematic for the body to wrap its brain around, to understand the cellular structure of them. The the problem with the GMOs is that happens like that. They edit it and they cross it with different things. Like tomatoes, those nice rosy tomatoes that you get, a lot of the times if they're not organically grown, or even if they are organically grown but are not free of GMO, a GMO tomato will oftentimes have DNA strung into its fabric, into its genetics from fish, jellyfish, different things. That's not normal. Your body does not recognize that as a tomato. It is something else. It doesn't know what it is, but it's not a tomato. And so it has to try and adjust to that. It's not a normal food. It's very much like eating processed food. Your body has to try to identify the overly processed food. Your body has to try to identify the different compounds. And then if you mix in GMO with overly processing a food, all of a sudden you're getting problems with your body trying to grasp and really hold on to the nutrients it needs. It can waste nutrients trying to deal with a GMO product. So that's something to think about. The same thing with corn. They'll string it with other things that are not even vegetables. And that is not normal. That is not something that your body is ready or even sometimes able to understand. A lot of food allergies now stem from the fact that your body just doesn't recognize that as a food. It thinks it's a threat. Um, this can happen not just with us eating the food, but our like our meats eating the food, and then those uh, those fats and stuff, the nutrients that they get from those foods getting stored in the fat. This happens with cows and edited corn. If you feed cows a bunch of sweet feed or a bunch of corn, if you sweet feed out your cows, which is expensive but gives you really marbled beef, it gives you like fatty beef and stuff because of all the nutrients and the oils inside of the corn feed. Their bodies hold on to that and store it in fat. Well, that means that you're going to eat what they eat. There's a big deal for there's an important concept of feeding your animals well so that you eat well when you eat them. That is something that a lot of people overlook, which is why grass-fed beef is so good, and different things like that. Grass-fed beef, like we've discussed before, has proper what was it, omega-3s to omega-6s. There's a proper balance between an omega-3 and omega-6 in a grass-fed beef versus a grain-fed beef, and that's where that sweet corn comes in. Like my cows get a little bit of grain every now and then. That's it. It's like candy. It's not something they get all the time, which means their body doesn't store the GMO problematically, which means they're more grass-fed beef, which means they're better for you. And they taste good too. Grass-fed beef tastes different. If you have a a palate that comprehends the differences between meats and things like that, they will taste better than uh, the sweet corns that you would see. So this list is good. Again, it's going with the same recommendations like I did before. Try to avoid GMO and buy organic, because otherwise you're going to have problems with trying to get these things and your body recognizing them as appropriate. Um, you're pretty darn safe with pineapple, to my understanding, and a lot of these are pretty safe. I don't know that they edit pineapples much at all, um, and avocados and stuff like that. So as long as you're looking for non-GMOs, and if you have to choose between non-GMO and then buying organic, choose non-GMO first, and then get organic. Non-GMO should be your number one priority on it, in my opinion, because you can take care of some of the pesticide stuff. You can wash it in lemon water, or you can get some of the lemon oil from doTERRA or somewhere like that. I would prefer doTERRA because this stuff is going in your mouth. You can get the lemon water. You can get some lemon essential oil. Just drop a drop in your wash, like a bowl for a water wash for your vegetables, and just kind of clean them off that way. That can help. That can go a long way with dealing with those pesticides on the outside. So go for non-GMO, and then look at organic, and you try to tier it up that way to what you're wanting to do. Uh, that's what I have to say about this. Like I said, this was just a list. There's nothing to really go off of. All of these are good for you. None of them are going to have negative health effects, assuming you're buying the correct type. And yeah, that's like I said. I wish there was more. I wish there was more we could have gone over, because I would have liked it if they'd have gone into, even if they just had a few sentences about each one. That would have been great. Would have been a lot better. This isn't even I don't even consider this an article. It's just a list. It's just a list. So maybe this list has helped you. You may have gotten some information out of it, or gotten to see some information on it that was like, oh, I didn't know that one was a clean one that you were pretty safe with. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go, I guess, because unfortunately I don't have much to say on it. They didn't make many remarks for me to address. So I suppose we will just sign off then. As always, I hope you get to come back and see us again next Thursday for the State of the Association address. And as always, I am Adam L. Spain with the Eden Wellness Alliance, Health and Wellness the way God intended, all natural, non-invasive approaches to your health, wealth, and relationships. You can get a hold of us on any of these things right here, these contacts, and we will see you next time. Have a great day. God bless. Bye.